Hi, this is Jodi. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to show you this Christmas card using the Best of Christmas stamp set, and you can see it's got a fun fold on here too. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to take this piece of crumb cake cardstock. It is 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer and use the scoring blade. This darker color is the cutting blade, and this lighter one is the scoring blade. So I'm going to put that up to make sure I don't use it, and I'm going to go ahead and line this up at 5 1/2 so that I get a scored line right in the center. And then I'm going to scoot it down to 2 3/4, which is half of 5 1/2. So I've marked at 5 1/2 and at 2 3/4. So what that will do when I fold the card is allow me to then take this front piece and fold it back. So a lot of what's on this card is just layering cardstock. The stamping on it is actually quite simple. So I'll go ahead and start with this piece. This is 4 inches by 2 1/2 cherry cobbler, and I'm going to attach that right here, and then add this piece of designer paper from the Season of Style pack. And there's lots of different patterns in that paper that you could use here. They would all coordinate with these colors, so you can mix it up a little bit. This larger piece of cherry cobbler is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and this will go right on the inside of the card. So we'll lay it centered in here. And then we'll get to the actual stamping. Now, the Best of Christmas stamp set has these 4 images in it, and I'm going to use the manger scene right here. So I'm using Old Olive ink and a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 2 1/2 inches by 2 3/4. So I'll ink this up and then just stamp right on here. And like I said, that's the only stamping on this whole project, so it's a pretty easy card to make. Once you get the cardstock cut and all those layers done, it would be super easy to duplicate. So let's go ahead and line these up. This crumb cake is 3 1/4 by 3 inches with this Old Olive layer. Let's see, it would be 3 by 2 3/4. We'll put that right on top. And then I have a piece of the champagne glimmer paper. Now this one I took a little bit different of a measurement. This one is going to be 3 5/8 by 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. And this piece is going to go right on top of the Old Olive. So we'll put that right on top of the Old Olive, and then we'll attach this piece that we stamped on using Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'll just put one in each corner on the back and add that to the focal point of the card. I decided to, once I had the stamped image, I didn't want to take the time to color in this whole picture, but I did want to just kind of tie it in with the rest of the card and make more of a focal point. So I took my cherry cobbler marker and took the fine point end and just colored in this little heart in the center of that stamped image. And that'll just tie it together better with the cherry cobbler color. Okay, now I want to add this piece here onto the card, and what I want to make sure is that I only put adhesive on this part right here. So I'm going to flip it over and only put adhesive on this half. And then when I add it on here, I make sure that it's not connected on this side. I don't want there to be any adhesive back here because that would prevent this from opening. So that's probably the trickiest part of this whole card, is just making sure you only put adhesive on that half when you attach that piece. The last thing we're going to do is take this piece, which is 2 1/2 inches by 4 inches, and add that to the inside of the card. So I'll just put some adhesive on here. And then what we want to make sure and do is stick it all the way over to the edge of the cherry cobbler on the inside here. And then once this is attached, I can use that to stamp a greeting on the inside, sign our names if I wanted to, but then by making it that measurement, the 2.5 by 4, you can see that it's totally covered up by this front piece. So you don't see it until you open it up. So this is a fun fold, like I said, pretty simple stamping, but it's just a fun card to give and receive with that fun fold on there. Thanks so much for watching. For daily creative inspiration, visit my blog or find me on Facebook at Jodi Reinert Stamps.